I'm Sid, and these are my best friends. My mom, Kim, my dad, Ty, my sister, Maddie, and our salty dog, Stella. We started our adventure refitting a Lagoon 450 before taking on the massive project of resurrecting a sunken 2021 Leopard 50. It's been one heck of a ride, but we're on this adventure to die with memories, not dreams, and live dauntless.
I could do 3, 3, 3, 6, 10.
5 drawers?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to have marking and measuring
Screwdrivers, wrenches, sockets, drill, driver bits, blades, Milwaukee 12 volt, Milwaukee 18 volt, fasteners, electrical, plumbing, tape, zip ties. You have DeWalt stuff.
and anything else we can think of. Oh my god, are you okay? Fuckers. Sorry, Sid, you're gonna have to edit that out. Bastard keeps
You might want to edit that out too. She's just blowing ass over here.
You.
And because I'm a good husband, I'm going to take credit for that. Okay. Alright guys, I have a lot of cutting to do. 20 drawers. There's going to be 5 drawer banks, or 5 drawers in each of the 4 drawer banks. And that means that there's going to be, well, 80 side pieces and 20 bottoms and 20 face frames, and it's going to be a lot of wood and a lot of cutting. So I'm going to batch this out. I'm going to cut strips of this wood cross grain so that all of my grain on the drawers runs the same direction. And then I'll use the table saw to run the strips down for the sides. But for now, I'm just going to bolt cut down these strips. So I've started cutting these drawer sides and faces, and we decided that we want to just make a slightly curved recess in the front of the drawer to be able to open and close it instead of putting knobs. That way when you're working in there, if you're leaning up against something, you're not actuating it. It's something big to grab a hold of because some of these drawers are going to be pretty heavy. But cutting all of these little radiuses like this with the jigsaw and then sanding it's going to be a pain in the butt. So I'm going to break out the Shaper Origin again. I've gone on in the last few minutes and just drawn up all of the drawer faces. Keep in mind the inside drawer face is slightly smaller than the outside drawer face, which has the veneer on it. So I'm going to cut those first, and I'm just going to get through, route all of those out so we've got nice clean finishes on those. And then I'll just be able to do straight cuts for the rest of the drawer, sides, backs, and bottom. Alright guys, so what I've got here is the drawer box setup. I am using a Dado Blade, and a Dado Blade is it's nothing more than a kind of a stack of saw blades to make a wider cut. So instead of just making 1/8 of an inch cut, you could make it, I think they go all the way up to almost an inch. And I'm using that to be able to do the joinery on our drawers. And I'm using a method called quarter, quarter, quarter. for, I suppose, you metric folks, it'll be 6 millimeter, 6 millimeter, 6 millimeter. This is 12 mil ply, which is nominal about a half an inch. And the cool thing about this is, with this type of joinery, that you make a slot for the bottom of the drawer and you make all the interlocking corners. So really, other than a couple pins and a little bit of glue, these are rock solid, steady, easy to make drawers with one setup. So the first thing I've done is I've cut all my sides and my faces. This is a face of the cabinet. I will have a reach-in grab to be able to open this drawer. This is much bigger than I'm going to have in the actual face. It's going to be slightly smaller than this, so I'll show you that in a few minutes. But I have cut, if you can see there, a rabbit and a dado groove. Okay, so I've cut all the faces so far, and this is on the inside that holds the drawer bottom, and then these 2 1/4-inch deals will sit in the sides. Now, I'm going to take the other sides, and I'm going to put a groove down the bottom and up the sides here so it all locks together. And by magic, without a drawer bottom, this is the way this works. You see how there's this interlocking deal there, and then on the inside there's this groove that runs all the way around that matches up. So everything is a 1/4-inch off the bottom, 1/4-inch, 1/4-inch. All these really cool interlocking pieces. So after I get it set up one time, then what I will do is run each of the 4 sides of the 20 drawers through. So what is that? 80. So there's 80 pieces on the sides. Each one of them gets 3 passes. So that's 240 passes through this Dado Blade to make 20 boxes. And then after I get all of this done, then I'll cut the bottom pieces and we'll glue them all together. And then of course we'll have to put finish on them and sand the edges and blah, blah, blah. Cabinetry can be time consuming. Drawers are the worst, but the drawers are the best way to store all of your stuff. So you see how the side goes? This will be the side as you're pulling the drawer. This notch cuts here and it fits in just like that. Magic.
Ho, 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 it's magic, you know.
All right, now that everything has been routed, slotted, and is ready for the drawers to really kind of be assembled, they're still in their rough condition. The next thing I need to do is I need to make drawer bottoms. Now, the 1/4-inch ply that is available here locally is just a skosh thinner than 1/4-inch, and my slot is a 1/4-inch. Well, the way I'm gonna solve that problem is I got some white melamine, and I'm gonna laminate the bottom sheet. So that's gonna do 2 things. One, it's gonna stiffen up and make the bottom of the drawer more rigid. And number 2, it kind of has that abrasion, stain resistant on the bottom. So if something leaks or something like that, at least it'll be easier to clean up. So I'm gonna do that now. And then while that cures and all of that starts to set up and gas off all of its solvents, then I'll start sanding all the drawer pieces and get those ready to accept the drawer bases. I'll be back when it dries. I'm back. So because I wait for the contact cement to dry, which is what you're supposed to do, I can actually put the finished side, as you see the white, down over top of the glue, and it's not going to stick because there's no glue on that side. So this allows you to kind of work in a smaller space versus spreading out much larger or having drips in multiple places. I want to keep all my drips here if I make any. Alright guys, as usual, we'll wait for that to set up, make sure that it's tack free, and then I'll get my plastic rods out, align everything, and roll it down. I think that's all I'm going to do tonight. The bugs are kind of getting out, and I think I'm going to do the other panel first thing in the morning, and then hopefully, you know, I'll be able to start cutting that up and making some drawer boxes tomorrow at the base. All right, as you can tell, it's getting late. Everything is dry to the touch. I've got all my little rods down to be able to isolate it so I can line up this Formica. So let's go get Kim and have her help us out. Hey babe, can I get your help? The number one thing you need in refitting a boat and sailing is an awesome spouse and a great partner to help you out with all of your stuff, because nobody can do this shit alone.
Here.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, that's it. So, I'll be back tomorrow with coffee to do the other one. Interesting note here. So we've got it flush on this side and just about a 16th a mil roughly on this side from being even. Formica comes a little larger, which is nice. So it actually overhangs an inch on this side and an inch on that side over there that we will need to trim off at some point. So that's what I got. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Yeah, pretty crazy. 2 down. Now we need to cut the drawer bases.
All right, that's 2 drawer banks down. We got 2 to go. And I definitely think I'm going to be able to get all of this out of 2 sheets of laminate.
And as always, I'll leave the links in the description for everything that I'm using. Type Bond 3. This is a waterproof glue. It also has a little longer open time, so it's a little easier to assemble stuff. It just gives you a little bit more working time. This stuff is unbelievable wood glue, and any wood-to-wood connections, highly recommend. You guys can see these connections are so tight. In fact, they're so tight when I add a little bit of extra glue on here and then I pound it down, it squirts out the excess glue out of the front because it is such a tight fit. So I have to wipe up my work surface so I don't end up gluing or getting glue and sticky stuff all over the outside of the drawers. Also notice that I am not gluing the bottom piece in. I'm just taking, this is the bottom, these are the side grooves, I'm just putting glue in the sides. I want to glue the entire side walls of the drawers together, but I want the bottom to be able to float and move around on the inside. Just in case there's some expansion and contraction, if I were to glue this in and anything happened to move or stretch,
I don't want it to blow the seams out on the drawer. Is it really that big of a deal for such a small drawer? Probably not, but from 20 years of finished carpentry, old habits die hard.
All right, so I need your help, your and Sid's help getting these drawers ready because, as you know, this takes lots of coats of finish, right? So what we're doing is I've already finished the insides of the drawers and then assembled them. And I've done the top edge with one coat of the other of these drawers. And I want to do, or 2 coats, and I want to do 3. So if you feel this, actually feel it right here. So feel it's kind of rough. That's the finish. So this is waterborne finish. And when you do a waterborne finish, the first time you apply water or a waterborne finish to wood, it causes grain rise. Right. So what we want to do is, I kind of cheated and I applied 1 coat of waterborne finish to a kind of rough edge just to penetrate in and activate the grain rise. So Sid is I need you and Sid to knock down all the grain rise so that it's smooth, and then we're going to go do 2 more coats all the way around. Okay?
Just the top edge?
Yeah, well, we need 1 more coat on all of them for the top edge. Then we're going to take the boxes and turn them upside down because this will be a dried surface. And then once we do that, then we'll do the bottoms and the sides with 2 coats on the outside. Okay? But we need to get the top edge done and let it dry enough so that we've got a place to turn them all upside down and do all 20 drawer boxes.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yep.
So I'm going to take the power sander and just knock off some of the rough edges that I've got over here. And you guys are going to come behind me and knock down or apply finish, and then when we do another round, we're gonna knock it down.
All right, so it's a little noisy this morning. Ty's got the table saw, that's what it's called, table saw working behind me. He's having to take a 1/4 inch off of each of these drawers because he miscalculated. He mathed a little wrong. So we're gonna fix the problem, take a 1/4 inch off of each drawer off the top side, and then we'll get these guys installed. So I think today is probably my most exciting day in a long time because we're actually going to put all of these tools away and I'm going to start gaining living space. So yeah, that's super exciting. I'm so excited.
Give me the ha!